The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Yo, Francesco Aquilini, okay? You guys got to start refunding tickets. For real. Well, what's the Canucks record at home this year? 1, 2, and 3. They've gotten their ass kicked. They've gotten embarrassed a couple of times. Come on. It's 2024. I've said it all the time. It's $8,000 to rent out a closet here in Vancouver, and we got to pay $500 to get in the building for that BS. Unreal. Well, let's talk about the game.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
People, we back doing this. And I'm depressed. I'm sad. I'm soft. I need some erectile dysfunction medicine after this one, okay? I am balding more than ever. And after that performance, an absolutely embarrassing performance, I might as well just give up. No, okay. I mean, I just might as well shave it off. That's what I'm thinking, okay? Unreal. The Canucks lose 7-3. AKA 15-2. That's what it felt like tonight on a Saturday night where tickets to Rogers Arena were like $300 minimum. This is after the Canucks got their ass kicked by the Devils 6-0 the last time we played there. This is the same team that blew a 3-0 lead against Calgary at home ice. All I'm saying is, y'all gotta give out some free snapbacks or something on for the fans on the way out tonight, or pay for their bus fare or their parking, because it's different out here in the west coast of Canada. Okay, it's more expensive than anything. It's like Dubai than Vancouver, and this is enough. And again, the Canucks get outclassed. By the Edmonton Oilers. A real strong performance by that team. Yeah, there's a reason why their fans don't really view this as a rivalry, and it's for moments like tonight. But in my opinion, I feel as if this was like the only time it really looked this bad. Now, outside of what? Maybe like 5 minutes in the second period, maybe like 1 minute in the first. The Canucks looked like the better team. But outside of that, it was the Oilers game, and it was a completely a dominant performance by their whole lineup. Real talk. In the first period, it was Draisaitl, okay? In the second period, it was kind of like Draisaitl and company again. And in the third period, in a one-goal game, McDavid takes over, and then the rest of the team takes over. And the Oilers, who really, really needed a win, might have just gotten the launching point button pressed on their season, okay? That was a really, really, really impressive performance by them. And it came at the hands of our fans, okay? F the team. Our fans had to sit there and watch it, okay? And here's the thing about paying $500 for a ticket to go to a game, okay? You're getting your money's worth. You're sitting down the whole time. Sort of. Okay? Especially for those people who decide to go to a Canucks game for the first time in a long time, okay? I'm telling you, there's some kids out there that got an early Christmas gift, and look what happened. They got embarrassed, and what do the parents got to do? They got to pull out the credit card, high-interest credit cards. They got to buy their kids another gift when it comes to Christmas, okay? It's Aquilini, again, give out some free snapbacks. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing, okay? Let's read the comments, though, because if I keep talking, again, I'm going to lose hair. Dude, I just feel like working with my dad. Going back to work with my dad full-time. I don't even want to do the show anymore. I'm just sad. It's the Oilers. It's the Oilers. That's what mattered. I was nervous. I was sweating. I was ready for this. I took a pregame nap and everything. And what happened? Nothing happened. Nothing good happened. Anyways, let's get to the comments. And I'm seeing a lot of comments about the reffing. Come on. It didn't win the Oilers the game. It was bad. And we'll get to it. But the Oilers, they did their thing, okay? Look at this comment from Malcolm. The one day that Pettersson plays okay, we play tragic hockey, okay? It's the truth. Look at this comment from Savvy, okay? Pettersson looked good at least. And maybe, well, not maybe. I guess that's the silver lining, right? I mean, second period onwards, Pettersson was warming up. He was doing things. He finishes the game with 2 points. He was really good in the second period. Hit a crossbar after he tipped tipped a goal in from a Jake DeBrusk shot. He also, ironically, looked incredible, Selke-like, in the first minute of the third period when the Oilers had a power play that they didn't score on. And that's the crazy thing about this game, okay? Lankinen is so sharp during that penalty kill. It's still 3-2 with 17 minutes left. And the Canucks just look flat. They don't got it. The engine wasn't going. Keep in mind, the Canucks were missing Besser. They still don't have Joshua. They don't have Demko. They also didn't have the best performance from Quinn Hughes. And outside of Pettersson, skill-wise, JT Miller wasn't there. There just wasn't that push. And you saw that push from, again, McDavid, Draisaitl, and company. Real talk. And that was another game where I feel as if Bouchard looked a little bit better than Hughes. And it's the biggest reason why we lost tonight, okay? Because I think when you play the Oilers, I feel as if 99% of the time, McDavid and Draisaitl are going to do their thing. You need 2 or 3 of your guys to do the same. And tonight we had Pettersson playing good for 30 minutes. The last 2 periods. It just wasn't going to be our game. It also wasn't going to be our game because Lankinen, who did everything he could. And again, there's so much irony. There's so much storytelling in this game, okay? The third period, Lankinen's still doing his thing, keeping his team in it, making one of the saves of the year, and then has an absolute breakdown. And it's only fitting because, yes, this Vancouver Canucks team that survived the Demko injury, the Joshua injury, now they got to try surviving the Besser concussion. They've done so, but they've also done so because they've gotten unreal goaltending. And it's fitting that Alvin and Rutherford can look at a performance like this against a really good team in the Oilers and say, you know what? Something's got to give. Something's got to give. Call me crazy, but is a trade or a move coming? I think so. Look at this comment from Ash Neal, okay? One of my homies, my first friend in high school, or one of my first friends in high school, he failed Math 8. That's why I was in a class with him, okay? I was in grade 8. He was in grade 9. But we had the same Math 8 class together. And he just saying, I did fail Math 8, but the Oilers did, he swore there, but they destroyed the Canucks, okay? Okay. Ash Neal, go to sleep, okay? Spend some time with your wife. Why are you over here? Go watch an Oilers Boys post-game show, okay? Come on. Unreal, okay? Look at EA, okay? That's a thick L Canucks fans. Another Oilers fan here. Hey, everyone's welcome here. I can take the chirps. I'm 31 and a half years old. I'm balding. I can take it. I can take it all, okay? Young Static, man, saying, what the F was that? I'm kind of disappointed. Kinda. Oh, no, he's saying I'm disappointed. Hella. Young kids these days, and I don't get the lingo, okay? Static, go write a song, okay? Go write some poetry and get over it, okay? It is what it is. It's just one game. Here's the thing. Things that happen in November, ask the Oilers. Things that happen in the first 20 games of the year, they don't really account for what's going to happen in April and May. And getting your ass kicked and not getting bailed out by Lankinen, a career backup for the most part, it's about damn time. Savvy saying Quinn looked a little rattled, and I'm disappointed in this. I'm so disappointed in this because Quinn going into this game was on top of the hockey world, and he's, going up against 2 of the best, 3 players, the best 4 players in hockey, and Draisaitl and McDavid. And there was a chance for Quinn to do his thing, but early on in the game, he takes a penalty, a bit of a chicken wing by Connor McDavid to draw that call, but nonetheless, 40 seconds into the game, he takes a penalty. The Oilers don't score on the power play, but they dominate on the power play. And 1 second after Quinn Hughes gets on the ice, what happens? Leon Draisaitl does his thing, and it was a invisible game from Quinn Hughes, and also a pretty disappointing one, considering that the 4th goal of the game, it's on his shoulders. And I can say that because he's the captain of the team, and he's going to be the first one to say it, but he's unable to get the puck out. He seemed rattled, wasn't poised, fanned on his clearing attempt, and he kind of left Lankinen and Desharnais out to dry, and he just wasn't up to par with, again, some of the best players in the league. It happens, though. Again, it would have been nice for Miller to do some carrying, but it looked like he was lonely out there, okay? Missing one of his pals, a.k.a. Brock Besser. Speaking of which, here's my pal. He's not celebrating a victory tonight. You can tell because he actually has a shirt on. It's Trevor Baggs. I love it. You know why I love this show? Because I can just get through my emotions and now I can go to sleep because 10 minutes ago, I'm pissed off. You know me, Trevor. I care about my neighbors. I care about my neighbors. And if my neighbors are going to spend money, spend hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars, okay, to go to a Canucks game, they could donate that money, help the streets out. But no, they're going to a Canucks game. And what are they doing? They're wasting their time. I feel bad. I feel bad. In the last two home games, the Canucks against two really good teams, two Stanley Cup contenders, they get absolutely embarrassed. 6-0 to the Devils and like 15-1 tonight against the Oilers, aka 7-3. What do you have to say, Begsy?
Just sports are weird, man. Sports are weird. I know that's not the sexiest analysis, but come on, we're going into that third period thinking that man, this is going to be a game, and the Canucks are buzzing and looking good in the second period, and it's like, oh, they're going to make this comeback happen, man. And then obviously there was some deja vu, right? Oilers go 3-0, Canucks make it 3-2. Filip Hronek gets his first goal since Game 7 of last season. So there was a lot of weird intricacies with this game, and man, oh man, like for me, one of the moments of the game that ended up being a nothing moment was Pettersson checking McDavid wide open backdoor on the penalty kill. I mean, it was such a good night for Elias Pettersson too, and I think that's a positive takeaway, right? At the end of the day, it's still only game 12 of the season, but to lose 7-3 to the Oilers, and again,
is it 11 or 12?
In the blink of an eye.
It's game 13, right? Game 13. I'm out of sports too. I don't even know the math, but again, Trevor, that's the silver lining. And again, fans, like I'm patient. I'm calm. I know it's all good. I know I said earlier that Rutherford and Albion are taking notes, though. They are taking notes. It's the truth. After performances like this to the Devils and the Oilers, and after performances in which the guy you found at the garage sale in September keeps you in the game and gets you points, is the only reason you're getting points, or like one of the biggest reasons. I said to Quinn Hughes, like, you take notes and you realize that this team is not good enough. That being said, Pettersson finding his game tonight and finding a bit of mojo, and maybe I don't think he's going to sleep happy tonight because the team lost and that guy's a uber competitor, but I hope that some of the flair carries over. Okay, you saw him hit the crossbar after he scored a goal, and then you saw that. I know it's a 7-3 goal, but maybe I'm reaching, but it just seemed as if things were clicking for him, like just a little bit tonight, and hopefully that treads over, because again, it's just game 13, and these games don't really necessarily matter too much when it comes to April and May. So if Pettersson can get going off a 7-3 loss, and you kind of have to look at this game as somewhat of a win. What? Welcome to Locked On Canucks, man.
The optimism is flowing through your veins, buddy. What happened, man? I think you and I were both a little bit pissed off 15 minutes ago, but it is what it is, man. I mean, look, it's just a disappointing effort tonight. And it's funny because I heard, I don't know, obviously missed the first 10 minutes of the show, but I hear you criticizing Quinn Hughes. I mean, man, are you talking about Vinny Desharnais at all? Holy, man. That was a rough performance from Vinny D, and some bad luck on these goals too. And Kyle, there's a couple things I want to touch with you on, man. And let's start with the lineup decisions tonight, okay? What were your thoughts on going 11 forwards and 7 defensemen? Because at the time I'm thinking, okay, like that's a bit different, but they just seem to keep flip-flopping D pairs throughout the game, and I don't know, it seemed clunky the whole way through.
Obviously, like, when has that ever worked? Can I go on a little rant after we go do some commercial breaks here, because we got a hockey nerd about this, okay? For real, we got a hockey nerd about this. We got a new advertiser too. Maybe you can help yourself out with this loss by getting some cheap steak, okay? Because one of our sponsors is Omaha Steaks, and I hope they deliver to Vancouver, because, come on, man. Like, our neighbors deserve something better. But again, I'm going to touch on Trevor's coaching point and Rick Tockett's mishap. Is that how you say it? Mishap? Mishaps? Well, however you say it. Okay, he screwed up tonight. Okay, he really did.
You made a mishap on the word mishap, man. Unbelievable.
He did screw up tonight, okay? We'll talk more about that on the other side. The Canucks lose 7-3, get absolutely outclassed by the Oilers, and something's got to give. I know it's early on. It's only the third regulation loss, but it's about the process, and there's been good moments. There's been like small, great moments, but there's also been a lot of confusing moments in what's been a short season so far for the Vancouver Canucks. We'll talk more about that on the other side. Let's shout out our friends at Omaha Steaks.
All right. I'm hungry for some Alberta beef after that one, baby. Wait, what's Alberta beef? Even better, man. Come on. Nothing delivers comfort and joy quite like the unrivaled quality and taste of Omaha Steaks. This year, skip the holiday hustle and bustle and save 50%. What? Of gourmet gifts site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, get a $30 reward card when you shop early and score an extra $30 off with promo code NHL. With 5 generations of experience, Omaha Steaks consistently delivers the world's best steak experience, and the gifting experts at Omaha Steaks have made it easy to deliver the perfect gift with thoughtfully created gift packages starting at $89.99. From our legendary steaks to mouth-watering desserts and more, save 50% off at site-wide at omahasteaks.com. Plus, Locked On Canucks listeners get an extra $30 off with the promo code NHL and a $30 reward card when you shop early. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $30 off with promo code NHL. Minimum purchase may apply.
Man, oh man. Okay, let's shout out our friends at FanDuel. One left to Omaha Steaks. Can't believe we lost this game 7-3, man.
All right. You know the deal, baby. If you're betting on sports, you got to go check out FanDuel, man. And whether it's NHL, NFL, whatever it is, you got to use FanDuel. They are America's #1 sports book. And the reason you got to use them is right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch, never trust a what, and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL.
Okay, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks. Kyle Bound, Trevor Beggs, one left to the Burnaby Gardens, a.k.a. Five God and V for doing their thing and holding this space down for us to do the show tonight. One love to the Don't Doze Art Collective for also looking after that West Coast bias and their neighbors on the day in and day out. Your Canucks lose 7-3, absolutely get embarrassed at home ice against I don't want to say our rivals, okay? The Oilers fans, they don't think we're on that same level, okay? We got to go through one more playoff series to do this, but here we are again, loving hockey again, and everything's bigger than it is. And the Oilers, the games just feel real, okay? Not gonna lie, going to the third period, I was hella nervous. It reminded me of the middle of May, and yeah, I feel as if the Canucks were maybe overthinking this game as well. Speaking of which, Rick Tocchet, man. Rick Tocchet decides last minute to dress 7 defensemen and 11 forwards, okay? Creating a lot of chaos within his lineup. I do have a theory on why I think it happened, but before I go on that little spiel, I just want to talk about how stupid this decision is. Straight up. Like you use my theory that I'll explain in a couple minutes in a different game, but not against the Oilers.
Yeah, and I mean, look, obviously the Canucks won. It's a different story, but it just seemed like throughout the night, you got Hughes playing a couple shifts with Juleson, and then you got Soucy out there with Desharnais a little bit, and it's just everything was in the blender in terms of the defense. And look, again, through 40 minutes, it wasn't like it wasn't working. It just felt a little clunky, you know. I mean, look, the first 40 minutes of this game, there was back and forth both ends of the ice, right? It was a very even, hard-checking, tight-checking game. But you look at the box score at the end of the day, and Noah Juleson played a little over 7 minutes, the low man on ice time, and the dude was on the ice for 3 goals against in 7 minutes. And I know one of the last goals there, I think it was the Brett Kulak one that went through Lankinen's legs there. It was a weak goal. I mean, Noah Juleson, again, kind of gets caught in no man's land. Probably should have stayed back a bit, let the forward take Kulak, and he gets caught up high and probably screens Langdon a bit on that one. So, again, rough night for Noah Juleson, rough night for Vinny Desharnais. Eric Branson with some bad luck as well. Rough night for Tyler Myers. Again, you talked about Quinn Hughes already. Thought Philip Hronek actually had a pretty good game for the most part. But I mean, the defense was just a mess tonight. And it's just like, why? Why did you do this?
Again, maybe he wanted to get some different pairings in his forward groups as well, right? Like test some things out. But I feel as if this type of strategy on Hockey Night in Canada against the Oilers when you play Calgary on Monday or whatever the day is it just makes absolutely no sense. Straight up. Now, I will say though, what if there's a little bit of like overcoaching / some like psychological guru stuff happening with Rick Tocchet, and he wanted to send a message to Archie Bains. Like it's not going to just be this easy to get into the lineup, and here's Niels Amon and Noah Juleson playing more minutes than you, and that's my only scapegoat here. Like, that's a bit of a stretch, but do you think some of that happened? Like, did Archie Bains have a bad practice, or just in general, Archie Bains' last 2 games with the Canucks before he gets sent down, not that memorable, but a lot of opportunity, and maybe Tocchet was trying to send him a message?
No, I think there's probably some merit to that, right? I think obviously Tocchet likes Baines. He's given him lots of opportunity, and he wasn't great when he got that opportunity over the last 2 games. So I think there's some merit there. But at the end of the day, Kyle, this is the first time you and I are chatting here on Locked On Canucks. You're Canucks every day since this happened. But as Savvy says in the comments here, the Canucks get rid of Daniel Sprong and then run with 11 forwards. And
Oh, yeah.
the Daniel Sprong trade, Daniel Sprong gets traded to Seattle for future considerations. And if this was a Jim Benning trade, we'd be ripping it right now. But because it's Patrick Allvin, we're kind of giving the guy the benefit of the doubt. But Kyle, I'm curious about your thoughts on this, because to me, it's like, okay, Brock Besher's out indefinitely. Jonathan Lekaremaki, you're not calling him up yet. And I think in general, you don't want to call him up until at least the 20 to 25 game mark.
He's also hurt.
Maybe you got Dakota Joshua coming back soon, but it just felt like an odd time to trade away a guy for nothing at a time when, again, you don't have a fully healthy forward lineup.
I think like there's a small chance that they traded Sprong without knowing Lekaremaki was also hurt. Like, that's like a pretty premature thing to say, to assume that like Allvin and Rutherford didn't have their ducks in order for that. But all in all, like, I don't think Alvin's making this trade and then thinking that like Tocchet's gonna play 11 forwards and 7 defense. Like, he probably thinks like Baines is getting back in the lineup. Like those are the line rushes in the morning skate, and Allvin is gassing up like some of the development in Abbotsford and just some of the depth they have there. And then boom, next thing you know, it's like you're playing a 7 defensemen, which means that 3 of those defensemen are Brannstrom, Desharnais, and Noah Juulsen going into a game against the Oilers, okay? And then you also have Soucy and Myers, and I'll say Soucy played pretty good today for the first 40 minutes. Like, they're struggling too, though. It was just weird. It was just off. And I real talk, we all make bad decisions in life, Trevor. Come on. We all make mistakes, okay? We all overthink. We all overanalyze. You know what I'm saying, bro? We all make mistakes. I think Tocchet just overcoached this just a bit. Speaking about mistakes, I'm glad that it took us 23 minutes to talk about this, because I want to give the Oilers some credit for doing their thing. 7-3. They scored in spurts tonight. They scored early on. They did their thing. Even on the shot clock, I feel like the shots were like, what, 30, like 33 to like 20 or something by the time the game ended. At one point, it was like 30-16 late in the third period. They did their thing. They deserved the win. That being said, screw the refs. Unreal. Wrecking the flow of the game, and also just not being able to make the blatant call when Quinn Hughes gets tripped late in the third period. And next thing you know, what happens? Within the first minute of the third period, Connor McDavid, another superstar, gets tripped by Tyler Myers, and boom, they call it. Obviously, because it's a blatant trip. But 20 minutes before that, you didn't call anything on Quinn Hughes. And you know who was frustrated about this? And for the first time, he actually showed a lot of frustration on the bench. It was Rick Tocchet, because he knew the game's going to flip right here. And even though the Oilers didn't score on that power play, the game flipped. After that.
Yeah, the Oilers didn't even get the puck back after that, right? And I even wrote about that in my post game. It's, again, the Canucks ended the period with momentum, and then 45 seconds in, it's Tyler Myers tripping McDavid, and you're right, they didn't score on the power play, but again, they didn't really give the puck up, right? I think they had 4 goals at the time, and the shots were like 12-2 at Oilers in the third period. I mean, man, oh man, rough night for the refs, but an even rougher night for the Vancouver Canucks. But hoping on a rough night for everyone here on Locked On Canucks. Kyle, and I don't know how many comments you've gotten to here on Locked On Canucks, but I wanted to shout out this one, man. Connie McKenzie in the chat, okay? Connie Sandu, longtime commenter Callum Sandu, his wife joining, and Connie saying, "Hey, Trevor, you're not bad looking, but my husband Callum got you beat by far." And that's made me thinking, man, we got to bring back Fan Fridays at some point, because I want to see this 11 out of 10 Callum Sandu on the podcast. And also saying, seeing the comments, and I love stories about and interesting Canuck jersey purchases. I know one of my best buds has a David Booth jersey still in his closet from the Vancouver Canucks, and Connie McKenzie has a Phil DiGiuseppe jersey, and apparently not an Abbotsford one, a Vancouver Canucks one.
Well, dude, the Canucks could have used Phil DiGiuseppe tonight. No, straight up, like 12 forwards, blah blah blah. One love to Callum though. Callum, honestly, man, like again, Trevor and I living the dream, doing our thing, having so much fun, and again, get to do this every night. And Callum Sandu, definitely the first fan of Locked On Canucks. Like people need to give this guy his flowers. And when we blow up and do our thing and have a house in West Van next to each other, because I know like that's my dream to be live next door to Trevor Beggs. Callum Sandu, you can live in the basement suites of both those houses for free. Okay, unreal. I'll install an elevator too so we can hang out. Look at this comment from Savvy. Okay, I've seen enough of Juleson. I think we got to leave Noah Juleson alone, man. Like, bro, like he had no chance tonight. I know he's a pro, and you got to hold mother effers accountable, right? Straight up, like he's got to do his job. But tell me when this whole 11 forward 7D thing works ever. It barely works. You just never hear. It's not strategy. It's just like it's a hockey nerd thing that Rick Tocchet was trying to pull off. Or again, I really think there's a strong chance of this. He just really felt like he needed to send Archie Baines a message. You know, real talk. I think that has a lot to do with it, and it just, oh man, just what a time. 7-3. The Canucks lose to the Oilers. I don't know what else to say, man. I think like do you want to touch on JT Miller being invisible tonight? Like I don't know. Like I think this guy gets a little bit of pass, right? Like he's missing Besser. How about we talk about that though? Can we end on this note? Again, whatever. Hit the like button. Whatever. It's just one game. It is what it is. Pettersson's back. Hopefully, if you look at it that way, we won tonight's game. Brock Besser is out indefinitely. Okay, whatever that means. I think when there's a concussion involved or like an upper body injury, you know, come on, you can just say what it is. A head injury. You don't have to say concussion, but just say a head injury. When that happens, and you see Jeannot or whatever. What was his name? What's his name? What's the guy who? Yeah, okay. This guy gets suspended for 3 games.
Tanner Jeannot.
This guy gets suspended for 3 games, and Besser's out indefinitely. Do you think we see a time in the future where blatant, dirty headshots? I'm not talking to like boarding somebody and like separating a shoulder. I'm talking like going after a dude's brain and livelihood. Do you think we see a time where that player comes back into the NHL when Besser comes back in this case? You know what I'm saying? Because that's gross. That's gross. And maybe I have a soft spot for Brock Besser because he's already been through so much in his life. But if this dude is out indefinitely and is in a quote unquote dark place right now because it's a head injury, like, dude, F Tanner Jeannot. That is not cool. It's not even just a Vancouver Canuck thing. There's not that much West Coast bias here. It's just that was such a dirty play. Such a dirty play. Such a headshot. Such a dangerous play. Such an unnecessary play. And now looks, Brock Besser's not in the lineup, and who knows when he's coming back. And, you know, we talked about this really early in the show, but you're not going to beat the Oilers when McDavid and Draisaitl are going and only one of your superstars are going. Like, you got to go toe-to-toe with those guys, and the Canucks weren't able to do that. Mainly in large part because Quinn Hughes and JT Miller just didn't have it today, but also because Brock Besser wasn't there.
Yeah. And again, I think with the Canucks, it's, for me, maybe I'm too positive, but nice to see a guy like Elias Pettersson have a night when the other 2 stars weren't going. And that's what you want on your hockey team. Like if one of your stars isn't going, hopefully the other guy's going. And like you said, with JT Miller and Quinn both not going tonight, and I think it was more so Miller. I mean, Quinn wasn't his best game by far, but I think, again, we talked about it before. Every Dares know Quinn Hughes, even when he has a bad game, is still pretty damn good. JT Miller tonight, which is largely invisible. I think he had one hit on McDavid late in the second where it's like, yeah. And aside from that, it was a very quiet night. But again, he's missing his homie. He's missing Brock Besser. And just in general, the lines just, I don't know, just felt random to me, you know? You know, you put DeBrusk and Höglander with Petey, they have some success. You got Garland and Suter with Miller. I mean, are those guys just the 2 spark plugs who are used to get anyone going? It did not work tonight with JT Miller. So just wish there was more thought put into the lineup. It felt like, I don't know, there was some overthinking or not thinking at all. There was no in between there. But at the end of the day, it's all good. It's game 13 of the season. I'm going to end this way, okay?
No. But answer my question though. Like, finish a thought on like what I just said. Like, do you think we live in a time when it's just a head injury, like a blatant head injury, where it's like Tanner Jeannot, like you can come back when Brock Besser comes back. Like what? Maybe like Brock Besser comes back in 2 games and like Jeannot, then the suspension doesn't look that big. But it's like maybe it could be like, yo, you're getting 3 games minimum. But if Brock Besser doesn't come back after those 3 games, you're not playing again. You think we ever live in a day like this? Because we're talking about stupid head injuries. Like that was crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, I I want to believe it's possible, but the realistic part of me leans towards it not happening. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's so hard to determine, like, but some guys might be out for a game, some guys might be out for their whole career, right? Like it's so hard to know what what's going to happen with a guy when he gets a brain injury, right? Like look at Tucker Pullman, for instance. I don't necessarily
Exactly.
see that happening. But that being said, I mean, we live in a day and age where, like, look, they're banning fighting in like the QMJHL. Like, if they can do that, I mean, I think they can probably elongate a suspension if a guy takes a really dirty run at a player.
Yeah, just gross hockey activity. Anyways, let's end on this comment from Mike. Unless you have another one, I'll let actually Trevor end it off because I cut him off and he probably started something else. Mike's saying that he's the Canucks are 7-3-3. They're a lot better than I thought they would be without Demko and Joshua. He expected 500 hockey, and again, the Canucks only 3 regulation losses, and we're in a good place. But I will say, and I think we've all sat with this if you're watching the games, there is like either parts missing to their game or blatant step backs in their defensive play. And for the most part, Lankinen just absolutely bails them out. And real talk, 41 minutes into this game, he bails them out like crazy, keeps them in the game, makes one of the saves of the year. But then the luck runs out, and I don't know how much they want to play with fire. Like Demko, there's no timetable, right? Like he's on the ice practicing, but knowing the Canucks, like you don't know when players are going to come back. It could be still another 3 weeks, and I just wonder if like there is the trader Jims, right? And trader Patrick Alvin. Like I wonder if anything's going to happen based on a fury of these games kind of going against us, and again us being bailed out by good goaltending.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's funny because Langton makes that save off of Nugent Hopkins. You're thinking, man, oh man, this guy's gonna do it again. He's gonna win this game for the Canucks, and it just doesn't happen, right? But the magic's got to run out eventually. Even it runs out for guys like Connor Hellebuck. Unfortunately, their magic ran out in the playoffs. But for Kevin Lankin, it ran out today against the Edmonton Oilers. But I want to end on this note and shout out to Mike Laval in the comments, kind of ending on a positive note there. Again, Canucks being 7-3-3 through the first 13 games. Last season, the Canucks swept the regular season series against the Edmonton Oilers and ended up losing in the playoffs. So it goes to show you that the regular season, it don't really mean all that much. What matters is the playoffs. And it's a frustrating day for the Canucks tonight, but not that it works this way, but man, oh man, I would take a couple regular season losses to the Oilers if it means beating the Oilers in the playoffs come April and May. Let's go, baby, because I believe that's happening, and I hope you believe that's happening too. And I hope you join us for that journey, okay? Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every day. Make sure you go subscribe, follow wherever you listen to podcasts. From today, if you did it already, we're going to be here for the rest of the time, baby, but especially for the playoffs in 2025. Let's go. So shout out to the everydayers, occasional listeners, the first-time listeners. Shout out to Connie McKenzie in the comments and everybody else. Again, we appreciate the hell out of you for tuning into Locked On Canucks. Kyle and I will probably be back with you on Monday. Take the day off tomorrow. It's Sunday. It's the day of the Lord. It's the day of watching NFL football, baby. But for now, we got to get out of here. Kyle, close out. What do you got to say to the people before we go?
No, we won tonight, guys. Hit the like button. We won tonight. Pettersson's back. Honestly, it's about the process. These games are about the process. Pettersson's back. Hopefully, he got a pep in his step going into the next game. It all starts the first period against Calgary. Pettersson's back. We won tonight. That's a sacrifice that we had to take. Have a good night. One love to your neighbors. And peace out.